by Albert Bigelow Paine in Mark Twain, A Bibliography, 1912, and in the publication of Mark Twain's Notebook, 1935. 1601 was written during the summer of 1876, when the Clemens family had retreated to Quarry Farm in Elmira County, New York. Here Mrs. Clemens enjoyed relief from social obligations, the children romped over the countryside, and Mark retired to his octagonal study, which, perched high on the hill, looked out upon the valley below. It was in the famous summer of 1876, too, that Mark was putting the finishing touches to Tom Sawyer. Before the close of the same year he had already begun work on the adventures of Huckleberry Finn, published in 1885. It is interesting to note the use of the title, "The Duke of Bilgewater," in Huck Finn, when the Duchess of Bilgewater had already made her appearance in 1601. Sandwiched between his two great masterpieces, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, the writing of 1601 was indeed a strange interlude. During this prolific period Mark wrote many minor items, most of them rejected by Howells, and read extensively in one of his favorite books, Pepys's Diary. Like many another writer, Mark was captivated by Pepys's style and spirit, and he determined, says Albert Bigelow Paine in his Mark Twain, a Biography, to try his hand on an imaginary record of conversation and court manners of a bygone day, written in the phrase of the period. The result was Fireside Conversation in the Time of Queen Elizabeth, or, as he later called it, 1601. The conversation recorded by a supposed Pepys of that period was written with all the outspoken coarseness and nakedness of that rank day, when fireside sociabilities were limited only to the loosened fancy, vocabulary, and physical performance, and not by any bounds of convention. "It was written as a letter," continues Paine, "to that robust divine, Reverend Joseph Twichell, who, unlike Howells, had no scruples about Mark's Elizabethan breadth of parlance." The Reverend Joseph Twichell, Mark's most intimate friend for over 40 years, was pastor of the Asylum Hill Congregational Church of Hartford, which Mark facetiously called the Church of the Holy Speculators, because of its wealthy parishioners. Here Mark had first met Joe at a social, and their meeting ripened into a glorious lifelong friendship. Twichell was a man of about Mark's own age, a profound scholar, a devout Christian, yet a man with an exuberant sense of humor and a profound understanding of the frailties of mankind. The Reverend Mr. Twichell performed the marriage ceremony for Mark Twain, and solemnized the births of his children. Joe, his friend, counseled him on literary as well as personal matters for the remainder of Mark's life. It is important to catch this brief glimpse of the man for whom this masterpiece was written, for without it one cannot fully understand the spirit in which 1601 was written, or the keen enjoyment which Mark and Joe derived from it. Save Me One. The story of the first issue of 1601 is one of finesse, state diplomacy, and surreptitious printing. The Reverend Joe Twichell, for whose delectation the piece had been written, apparently had pocketed the document for 4 long years. Then, in 1880, it came into the hands of John Hay, later Secretary of State, presumably sent to him by Mark Twain. Hay pronounced the sketch a masterpiece, and wrote immediately to his old Cleveland friend, Alexander Gunn, prince of connoisseurs in art and literature. The following correspondence reveals the fine diplomacy which made the name of John Hay known throughout the world. Department of State, Washington, June 21, 1880. Dear Gunn, are you in Cleveland for all this week? If you will say yes by return mail, I have a masterpiece to submit to your consideration, which is only in my hands for a few days. Yours very much worrited by the depravity of Christendom, Hay. The second letter discloses Hay's own high opinion of the effort and his deep concern for its safety. June 24, 1880. My dear Gunn, here it is. It was written by Mark Twain in a serious effort to bring back our literature and philosophy to the sober and chaste Elizabethan standard. But the taste of the present day is too corrupt for anything so classic. He has not yet been able even to find a publisher. The Globe has not yet